Hey guys, it's been a while. I'm in Bali at the moment and I just wanted to film this. This is mainly for the divine feminines out there. And I haven't done a video on these topics for a while, but I was talking to someone the other day and I shared with them my story when I visited a shaman a couple of years ago and what he picked up between myself and my divine masculine, and it's really very important and unique. And so she said you should put that out because people really need to hear that stuff, especially the divine feminines that are in a place where they're really not sure what to do, or how to work with the energy and stuff like that. So I thought I would do a video on it and tell you about it. But first of all, I just wanted to say that with these energies at the moment and everything that's happening, the divine feminine are really quite powerful at the moment in stepping into their power, but it has to be a balance as well through heart and soul with their divine masculine. So what I mean by that is that just really have the faith, keep the faith, and just know that whatever anything looks like from the outside, the physical world, is not what is happening. So I've been doing a lot of channels lately and I don't put a lot out, and I've actually come to Bali and I've been doing work and other things while I've been here. And but what I wanted to talk about is my story with my shaman. So it's quite interesting. I'm going to try and make it as quick as I can for you. A couple of years ago, I went to see the shaman, and it was in 2017. And this particular shaman I'd not seen one before, and I'd not been drawn to go because I'm a shaman myself. I don't work as a shaman, in this lifetime, but I have been in many lifetimes before, and I'm not here this time to be a shaman. But obviously when I do my healing practices and things, I draw on that as well. But I don't really, title or label myself as a shaman. So I wasn't drawn to go and see one, and a client of mine actually living the other side of the country, so I'm in Melbourne and she's in Perth, if you know Australia, and she went to see this shaman. He's an international renowned shaman, and he has people fly in from all overseas, all other countries to see him, and he's been known to heal people in last stages of cancer and all sorts of things, distant healing even, when they're remote in other countries. And so I was just, when she mentioned him, before she even said all this, it was like my soul spoke to me and said, you need to go and see the shaman. So I rang up, booked an appointment. He's usually a few months to get in to see, but I was able to get in within a couple of weeks, and off I went, and I flew to Perth to see him. And when I saw him, I did not tell him anything about myself, including I didn't tell him that I was on a soul flame, twin soul path, because I wanted to see what he would say in terms of, excuse the motorbikes, it's Bali, because I just wanted to see what he picked up. I wanted to see how accurate he was, or if he, it definitely, it wasn't from a place of, I wanted him to tell me anything about us. I just, I was really solid in that in myself, but my higher self said, don't tell him. Just go in and have your healing and don't tell him. So I didn't tell him. And so instead of being there for, you know, probably an hour, I was there for hours, but most of that time was us talking, and probably about only an hour of that was actually the healing. And when I came out of the healing, he was pretty blown away, and I did write a blog about this at one time because it was quite astounding, some of the things that happened in the healing. But what I want to just touch on today is that when I came out, he sort of said to me, oh my goodness, like I went into the session with him kind of feeling like he could really help me, and then I came out and he said to me, wow, do you know who you are? And it turned out, he said, you've been my teacher for thousands of years in past lifetimes. And I said, I know I'm not here to do that work, you know, in this lifetime necessarily. Anyway, but he did say to me a few other things, and one of them was, I came out of it and he said, I was confused until he had confirmation. And I said, what were you confused about? And he said, you have two hearts. He said, you have two hearts beating, and I saw two hearts. And I said, right. And he said, you're not surprised about this? And I said, no. And he said, you're here joined with somebody. He said, you share an energy with somebody else. You share an energy body with another person. And he said, when I went into the session, and this is a shaman that has been, like, I think he would say be in his 60s, and he'd been working as a shaman since he was a teenager. He started when he started through music drumming when he was 6 years old to help people. But actual shamanic work he was doing obviously when he was older. And he'd never come across this and seen this before. And he had to ask as he was working on me, what is this? You know, like, why is she connect? Why is this person? There's two of them, you know. And they explained, and he just said to me, you are here in this lifetime with somebody else to work with them and be with them, and you're connected to them, and you both share each other. You know, it's like you're each other in two bodies. And he didn't know, I think, what to call it. And I said, yes, that's right. I said, I know that, and I know who it is. And he said, wow. And he said, anyway, he looked really sad. And I said, you know, what's wrong? And he said, your hearts, both your hearts, are so broken. They are so, he said, I've not seen hearts, very rarely, he said, hearts like that. They are shattered. And he said, both of you are. And he said, you know, when you see a picture of a broken heart, and they put a crack right down the middle, he said, it's literally like that. He said, and I had to mend both your hearts. And he said it ran really deep. And I said, oh wow. And he said a bit more about it, and he was quite in detail about it all. And it was really, really interesting. So, and obviously it went on, and there was other things that were said, but that's the part I really wanted to share with you, is that when you know your connected one and who you're here to be with and do that, and not even just do that work with, but to share that love with, because we're here to be, not do. And the doing comes from the just being in that love. So do not allow anybody to discredit that or dishonor that or tell you that's not true or that's not real, or, you know, even if your other divine one, your beloved at that time, your divine masculine or feminine, is resisting it or not quite understanding it or not, you know, just go with what you know is in your heart and soul and what's right for you. And look, because that is you. We are them. They are us and we are them. Two becomes one, one becomes two. That's what it is. So just a little bit of inspiring knowledge about, I'm looking at the time, a little bit of inspiring knowledge about that. And just take care, and Talk to you soon.